Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Hebrews 10:23-25.
Good morning. It is time for another church spotlight. And today we go to Warroad, to Woodland Bible Church, and Pastor Wayne Maxwell joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking some time to talk to us about your church. Looking forward to hearing what's going on over there in Warroad at Woodland Bible Church. So we'll just get started. Tell us tell us a little bit about the church. How long has it been there? What denomination, if any, are you? And then we'll find out more about you.
Right. Well, Woodland Bible Church was actually started back in 1939 as Woodland Mennonite Church. There was a group of Mennonite families that moved to the area here in Warroad from about mid-North Dakota, around Lostwood. Lostwood's no longer a city, but around that area, that moved here with their families, and they started the church and called a pastor. So it was a Mennonite church originally.
Wow.
85 years ago. And they were a Mennonite church up until about the mid-'80s when they moved the church from out in the country where they were located into town, where we are currently located in town, and built a new building. And a few years later, after they built the building, decided that the Mennonite denomination wasn't going the direction that they wanted to go as a church. And so they just split from the Mennonite denomination and became a non-denominational Bible church.
Okay.
And that's what we've been ever since. Though we still have many of the, I say many, it's been 85 years. We do have currently in our membership the children of the very first pastor of the church.
Oh, wow.
To our church. And,
well, that's quite a legacy then.
Right. The great-great-granddaughter of the first pastor married my son. So that's kind of the heritage of our church that's been here for 85 years now.
Wow.
I've just been here 18 years as the pastor. The first pastor was here 20 years, and we've had various pastors over the years since then, but I came here 18 years ago this month.
Wow. Well, congratulations on your anniversary. And 18 years, that's a good long time for ministry. Now, were you a pastor before that?
I was in ministry. I was an associate pastor at two other churches. I started out in ministry in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. I was there 10 years as an associate youth pastor. And then the Lord took me to Western Colorado, Grand Junction, Colorado, and I was an associate youth pastor there for 7 years before bringing me here as the senior pastor. So this is my first senior pastor position in the church.
Okay. All right. And so are you originally from Ohio, or where did you grow up?
Yes, I originally grew up around Dayton, Ohio. Went to school in Springfield, Missouri, at Baptist Bible College. Now it's known as Mission University. And met my wife there. We got married like 36 years ago, and 37, excuse me. Correct that. 37 years ago. And we had three children, all of our three boys. They married local girls here in Warroad, so hopefully they'll come back to this area.
Yeah.
their in-laws. This is where we've been most of our, ministry life has been here in Warroad, Minnesota. So this is home.
Yeah. Good. Well, we're glad you're there. What is one of the things that you like most about being in ministry?
One of the things I like most about being in ministry would be seeing people get it. I mean, some guys are into evangelism, and I just love discipling people and seeing people, the light bulb go off, and the Holy Spirit teaches them something, and they get it, and they start applying it in their lives. And so discipleship, I think, would be the thrust of what my ministry is, trying to help people to grow to the point to where they can reproduce themselves in the lives of other people. So discipleship is a huge part of what I feel my ministry calling is.
Yeah, that growth, that reproduction of more and more followers going out and kind of doing what you do then.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So what kind of either programs or outreach does your church do or focus on?
We're involved in a lot of different things. One of the primary outreaches in our children's ministry is the Awana program. We've been doing Awanas for probably over 30 years here as a church. So our church, and we recruit some people from other churches to help us with that too, but primarily our church is the one that does that ministry. And the school has been great to let us use their facilities, their gymnasiums and rooms and stuff for the last 30 years to actually do this ministry at the school. So that's why it's been a huge outreach. Rather than just doing it in our own facility, using the school and inviting other community people, not just other church kids from the area, but kids that don't go to church anywhere to come and be a part of the Awana program. It's been awesome. So we run around 90 to 100 kids in our Awana program, and about 30 to 40 teenagers and adults that help out with that. So
that's incredible.
A huge outreach children's ministry. Yeah.
When I look up the population of Warroad, isn't it like 1,800 people?
Right about 1,800 people, yes.
So that's pretty incredible to get that many people helping and then that many kids coming out and to be able to do it in the school. How does that work out?
It just does. And the Lord's been great to us, allowing us to have a great relationship with our school. And, we also, our youth pastor runs an FCA program, and we've used the school for different activities for that as well. And so currently we just this past March hired our third pastoral staff member in the church. So we have myself and a youth pastor and now a children's and family pastor.
Wow. Wow. So about how many people do you have in church every week?
Our average attendance has kind of grown a little bit since the pandemic. Of course, we were up above 200 before the pandemic, and then it affected everybody. But in the last 4 years, we've grown to more than where we had before the pandemic. So we're averaging about 220 average Sunday morning attenders, but of course the church size is larger than that.
Sure, yeah.
Those are the people that come.
Yep.
You know how that is, right?
Somebody gone.
You'll have a lot more people that regularly attend that are part or call it your church home than actually regularly attend.
That are there every week, yeah.
Full-time basis.
So if somebody's
the
listening...
Lord's blessed us.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
I was just saying the Lord's blessed us with opportunities to do outreach in the community. Awana is one of those things that we do with our children's ministry. We also run our own camp. We take this past year, 75 kids. We rent another camp facility, and then we staff it with our own adults and teenagers, and it's for children ages 8 through 14. We just call it Camp Good News. And we keep the price really low. I think we charge $95 a kid to go to the camp. And we just, people support it, that ministry, and we see boys and girls every year have the best week of their life at Camp Good News. And so it's one of the things that we've been doing for over probably 30 years, taking kids to camp and running our own camp program for children. And we get our teens involved as counselors and leaders in the camp as well.
Yeah, so you're really starting kids young with the memorization and knowing the Bible, but then you're keeping them involved as they get older to be able to teach the younger ones that.
Right, absolutely. That's that discipleship process, right? Of teaching and then instructing and then releasing so that they can, also be involved in doing the work of the ministry, not just saying that that's what adults do. It's try to get the whole family involved.
Yeah, that's great. Wow. So if somebody's listening right now and they haven't been to your church before, tell us when your services are, and then what can they expect if they come to Woodland Bible Church?
Well, we have Sunday school every Sunday morning, and that starts at 8:45 and runs to 9:30. So 8:45 to 9:30 is our Sunday school hour for all ages. We have adults all the way down to children. And then from 9:30 to 10 is kind of just a welcome, get acquainted, fellowship time. People can drink coffee or talk or whatever. It gives our worship team a chance to warm up. And then at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings is our regular worship service, and it runs till about 11:15. Just a mix. Our worship is not just hymns or not just contemporary, but it's a mix. We do that on purpose to appeal to all different age groups of people. So there's hymns as well as contemporary Christian music that we play in our worship team. So that's our Sunday ministry. And of course, Wednesday nights we during the school year have Awana going on, and then FCA as well for the youth. Various different small groups meet during the week at different places in people's homes and different things. So, like I said, it's just something going on around here practically all the time.
Yeah.
But Sunday morning service is 10 a.m. for the Sunday worship service, 8:45 for Sunday school.
And where are you located?
We're located on 506 Dale Avenue, Southwest, in Warroad. Just right on the edge of town, on the east side of town as you come in, Highway 11. You'll see our building right behind the Napa building across from the Cenex gas station. So you can't miss it.
Very good. Do you have a certain series or topic you're working through this summer on Sunday mornings?
Well, yes. We're in the midst of our second, we call it Summering in the Psalms Part 2. We did Summering in the Psalms last year. Just because I typically preach series going through books of the Bible, verse by verse, through a particular book of the Bible, and that's typically how I preach is expositorily. But this summer I thought, rather than just hit a book, and you know how people are in the summertime, they're there or they're not, and they might, catch 3 weeks and be gone for a few weeks or whatever because of their vacation. And I thought, well, we can actually go into the Psalms and just do one psalm a week, a different psalm, preach through that particular psalm. And so we covered 12 or 13 psalms last year in the summertime, and we did it again this year. Some of the psalms that you wouldn't typically think about. I mean, we're all familiar with Psalm 1 or Psalm 23, but we're looking at psalms that people, maybe have read, but they haven't really studied, and kind of looking at different things. I did do a series, because I preach expositorily, a couple of years back on Psalm 119.
Oh, wow. How long did that take?
22 weeks.
Okay.
It was, I did 8 verses. There's 22 different sections of Psalm 119. So we're not doing Psalm 119 during the summer. I told him, I said, we've already done that, so we'll just pick up some of these other psalms.
Stick with some of the shorter ones.
Yeah, so we got a few more weeks of Summering in the Psalms, and then I'm going to be starting a series dealing with dinner with Jesus or meals with Jesus. Just looking at, I think in the book of Luke, there's 8 different instances where Jesus is actually having a meal with people, and look at those 8 different times where Jesus was sitting down and having a meal. And all that's kind of based upon a series I did earlier in the winter called Bless Habits. There was a book written by Dave and John Ferguson called Bless, the Bless Habits, and Bless stands for, it's an acronym that stands for begin with prayer, listen with care, eat together, serve with love, and then share your story. So it's an evangelistic type of process where you just look at your neighbors, because we've been told in the scriptures to love your neighbor as yourself. I think 4 different times we've been told to do that. And so you begin with prayer, praying for your neighbors, and then listening to them share what's going on in their life, and then eat together. And so this is kind of wanting to keep that whole message series and make it a part of our DNA in front of people and on their mind. I'm going to do this whole series on dining with Jesus or having dinner with Jesus type thing. But, yeah.
Fascinating.
Just, trying to keep the thrust going. So it wasn't just, so Bless wasn't just, that's just a series that Pastor Wayne did, this winter leading up to Easter, and now we're done with that. We can move on to something else. I want it to be in the forefront of people's minds. So constantly trying to remind people, hey, this is an example or whatever in a message of people eating together, or this is an example of somebody sharing their testimony. They're sharing their story. So keeping it in the forefront of people's minds, that's what we're to be about.
Yeah.
Doing those simple steps to just evangelize and share our faith with our neighbors.
I love that. That's great. Wow. Well, thank you, Pastor Wayne Maxwell, for your ministry there at Woodland Bible Church and throughout the community of Warroad.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and you guys keep doing what you're doing.
Will do.